Speaking. Mr. Galloway, you seem to be the Honourable George Galloway, according to this leaflet of yours.
I am in Pakistan. Actually, I'm a knight in Pakistan. And Sir George in Pakistan.
But isn't that ridiculous, putting out a leaflet under the Honourable George Galloway? I mean, it's factually incorrect. That's a breach of the law.
Is it?
It is your leaflet.
Is it a breach of the law?
Well,
I think I'm honourable. Pakistanis to whom it's addressed are absolutely convinced I'm honourable. That's why they made me a knight in Pakistan. Is that the best you've got, Michael, a man of your calibre?
You say on here, I will demand parental involvement in the school curriculum. I don't want my children to be taught in a moral vacuum. So, what's that about?
Exactly what it says on the tin. And moreover, what I've been saying for decades, and said not 100 yards from here last Thursday at the meeting that was called by Lawrence Fox and Paul Halloran. I refuse to allow teachers to decide what my children are taught. My children go to a Catholic school because I don't want them taught in a moral vacuum. And I think every parent has the right to insist upon that.
Well, so are you saying really you don't want them taught about homosexuality?
If I'd meant to say that, I would have.
Well, why don't you say what you mean instead of a vague phrase like a moral vacuum?
Well, if I'd wanted to say that, I would have said that. And if I'd known you were going to ask me, I'd have brought my special award from Stonewall decades ago for my sterling services for lesbian and gay people. You've seen my parliamentary record. Man of your calibre would have looked that up before asking that question. My voting record on gay rights is literally impeccable. So I resent the inference in your question.
Well, it might be a signal, mightn't it not, to certain people?
No, I don't signal. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. I don't want my children brought up or taught rather, in a moral vacuum. I think most parents agree with me on that.
Your campaign, one of the themes of your campaign is getting rid of Keir Starmer. Who would you
Seems to be working that.
Who would you have instead as Labour leader? Bring back Jeremy Corbyn?
It's not my business who the Labour Party choose, but as a citizen...
Well, hang on a moment. You're saying get rid of Starmer, so shouldn't you have an alternative in mind?
Who they choose next is a matter for them, but what I'm saying is Britain doesn't have an opposition. And it doesn't have an opposition partly because it doesn't have a leader of the opposition. He's so wooden, the birds are nesting in him. Everybody knows that, including most Labour people know it. So I'll actually be doing Labour a favour here on Thursday. They can get rid of him and pick somebody better.
Maybe they'd pick somebody worse.
Maybe, and some of the horses that are being speculated about would be worse.
Go on,
you. No, I don't want to give the kiss of death or life to any of the putative leadership candidates, but you'd have to think that the lesson learned from this disastrous Starmer period would lead them to pick someone better.
Palestine is a big issue for you in this campaign. What about the Uyghurs? Are you concerned about the Uyghurs in China?
Again, the premise is false. It's not a big issue for me in this campaign. I could give you right now the entire portfolio of every leaflet that we've put out, and virtually nothing in it is about Palestine or about China. It's about the police station down there that's been shut. It's about the potholes there you could lie down and sleep in.
All right, you have a reputation.
Stop playing games.
You have a reputation.
Yeah, but I'm not running on those issues. I'm running on the fact that this place has been neglected, left behind, taken for granted. And you're going to discover on Thursday that the people already know it.
What do you think about, I mean, you're quoted as saying that you don't think there are Uyghur concentration camps in China.
I'm not going to talk to you about China.
Why not?
Sorry, you're playing games. I'm here to talk to you.
It's a hugely important human rights issue. You are a great defender of human rights.
I'm here to talk to you about the by-election in Batley and Spen. The Xinjiang province in China is not an election issue here. So stop playing games, Michael.
But when you're a member of Parliament, you range far and wide. You've been a member of Parliament. You've dealt with all sorts of issues in your time as an MP that may not have concerned your constituents.
But I'm running here on the issues that matter to the people. And if you want to interview me, then that's what we'll have to talk about. I'm not going to give you the benefit of my views on Outer Mongolia or the public sector borrowing requirement in Peru either.
Well, you dismiss it as Outer Mongolia, although it's not Mongolia, but it is a massively important world human rights issue. I'm surprised you, George Galloway, don't have a view on it.
I do have a view on it.
Go on.
Outer Mongolia was, like the public sector borrowing requirement in Peru, chosen by me as a ridiculous analogy to the question that you're asking me. I'm not going to talk about the football results in Argentina. They're not an issue here. They're not an issue here. And so your efforts to try and make them.
It's not like you to be parochial, is it? You're an international
people know
figure.
me. People know me in part here for the 50 years of work that I've done on Palestine, on Kashmir, which is why I'm the Honourable in Pakistan and to Pakistanis. They know that. I don't have to campaign on these things, and I'm not.
Well, it would be interesting to know what your views are on the Uyghurs, but you're not going to tell us.
I'm not going to talk about the public sector borrowing requirement in Peru either.
Isn't that a condemnation? You're the leader of the Workers' Party.
Sure.
And there are workers, Uyghur workers in China, who are in camps being in forced labour, and the leader of the British Workers' Party does not have a comment on that.
If you'll forgive me, the concern of the Daily Mail for the rights of workers anywhere, in China or in Britain, strikes me as laughable, and to the more discerning of your viewers and readers will do so too.
So what's going to happen on Thursday?
The only firm prediction I'll make is that Labour will lose, indeed has already lost. I'd like to think that Labour will not be even second. I think this election is between the Conservative Party and me.
George Galloway, thank you.
Just on cue, a large number of people have arrived. Thank you very much.
Yes, do you want to